Hello students and welcome back to the classroom. I have some more great exercises to help you with two-handed piano playing, which is what I get a lot of comments and questions about in the videos. People wanting to learn more about two-handed piano playing or exercises to help them get better at it. Well, that's what we have going on today. So let's take a look together at this first exercise. Okay, first I'm going to show you exercise 1. Now this is great for two-handed piano playing if you're just starting getting used to it. I still recommend if you're in the very early stages of two-handed piano playing to learn these hands separate first and then put them hands together real slowly. Now this first exercise is a waltz, which is a 3/4 time signature pattern where you have this left hand pattern. We have the lower note and the upper notes in the chord. Now, one thing I want to tell you about this exercise is once you get in what we call C position, you put your leftmost finger on C, evenly space out the other notes with your fingers. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as your finger pattern. You don't, luckily for this one, move out of that pattern at all. So I've written very few finger numbers in here for you. I've only given you the first one. So once you get your hand set, you're all good to go. Let me show you what this one sounds like. Actually, let me get more of it in here for you. And that's all there is to it. Luckily, I designed this one so it'll be easier to play because you really just have to play the same left hand pattern while you play the right hand. Also, what I recommend you try to do is back off the left hand a little bit in terms of volume. That's really supposed to be the background of the whole thing. And play your right hand a little bit louder since that has the melody. And that's it. That's all there is for exercise 1, the easy waltz pattern. So give it a try. I recommend practicing this 3 times a day for at least the next week to maybe even the next month if you find it helpful. A nice easy exercise to get you started. Let's take a look at exercise number 2. Okay, time for exercise 2. This time, this exercise is focusing on scales. So if you don't know your C major scale, I recommend learning that first because it will make things a lot easier when we learn this example. Let me get everything in frame so we can see at least the first line here. Now what we're going to be doing is, if you take a look, it says exercise 2, scale pattern. And what we're going to do is we're starting out by playing a C major scale, starting from the top note, going down with your right hand. Left hand goes from the bottom up. If you notice, I only wrote in the finger numbers up top for the right hand, and believe it or not, the left hand and right hand in this piece have the same fingering. So copy whatever you see with the right hand to the left hand, it should work. So you're starting out from either end of the scale, coming in towards middle C. And then you're going to go out just like that. Next, we have like an arpeggio kind of thing. If you don't know an arpeggio, instead of playing all 3 notes at once, you play them separately. But this time, they're going in towards one another, just like the scale did. Oops, and then on the next line, it continues with that. There's a little 5-finger pattern of 1/8 notes here at the very end. That's where we want it. Just like that. So let me play through the whole thing, show you what it's going to sound like once you get the hang of it. So Rich, yes, you're correct. So with waltzes, play staccatos after the first beat of the measure. That is generally how it goes now. If the composer tells you to do something different, go by that. But in general, that's how waltzes will work. And if the meter's 3/4, does that automatically mean it's a waltz? Not always. Waltzes are in 3/4 Not every 3/4 song is a waltz, but every waltz is in 3/4, if that makes any sense. So there's a few more characteristics of waltz. One is that left hand pattern, and they have a dancey kind of feel to them. Kind of like that. We can talk about waltzes some other time, but great question. If it's in 3/4, it doesn't mean it's a waltz, but all waltzes are in 3/4. Okay, so this is what this exercise is going to sound like. And there you go. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than the previous one. I always like to go from easiest to more difficult when we do these lessons, but I think this one's still manageable for most of us who are learning how to play both hands together. What if you can't do it? What if you're like, man, Tim, you know, no matter how many times I try, it's just not working out. I just can't get it. Well, you first of all slow it down. Well, actually, first of all, I would split it hands separate and then slow it down. And then when you're ready to put it hands together again, go slow. If you feel like the whole thing's spiraling out of control, you either need to split it up hands separate again, or you need to slow it down some more. It'll seem a little tedious at first, but you'll be surprised that you'll be able to learn it much, much faster if you take that step-by-step approach, rather than trying to play it at 100 miles per hour right away. I don't know how you play piano at 100 miles per hour, but anyway, you play as fast as possible, and then you just keep trying and failing over and over again. You don't want to do that. You want to start out slow and layer things on, and that's how you want to approach pretty much everything you learn when learning how to play the piano. So let's get on to exercise number 3. Yeah, so Rich asks, let me get to some questions here. Tim, in your example, it looks like that there is a contrary motion scale. Do you still play the bass clef at a lower volume? Not sure if I made sense. So yes, I would still practice playing the bass clef at a lower volume. That one, it's not quite as important since both hands are kind of not the melody. They're both kind of the harmony in the background. So you could play them both evenly is fine, but what I would do is I would still play the right hand a little bit louder and balance out the left hand to be a little softer, just because that gets you into the right habit of doing that. Okay, we're going to get into exercise number 3 here. Okay, so here we have the tango exercise. All you got to do with the left hand is just play a single note, right? And then you have this right hand pattern. I've given you the fingering for this right once again. You have this kind of thing. And then all you got to do is you do the same thing. You just move your right hand up to F. You don't need to move your left hand. We're talking about the third measure here. And it's the same pattern again. It's just over F. And you do 2 measures of that, back to the first kind of measure again. Then you move up to G. What I mean by move up to G is that G is on the bottom. Actually, you play the G with 1 on your left hand. And then back down F. So once you get the pattern of this one, it's very, very easy. It's very repetitive. That's why I made a lot of these repetitive, is because they're a little bit easier to digest playing both hands together. Let me show you what the whole thing is going to sound like. Here we go. And for reference, this is actually in the same chord progression as the B-flat blues that I play. Now it's in the key of C, but it's the same pattern where you have what we call the first chord for 4 measures. Oh, you know, I altered it. That's right. I only have it for 2 measures, but it does the same kind of thing where we go up to what we call the 4 chord. So it has the same progression. Once you get the hang of it, see if you can speed it up a little bit. So that was exercise number 3. Let's go on to the next part of the lesson. Okay, let me take a look here and answer some questions. Okay. Okay, so I have a question from an awesome student here. Fuddy Duddy asks, should we not start with chords? Hold on. Okay, we have a question from a great student here. Fuddy Duddy asks, should we not start with chords in the left hand first? I did, and it helped me some. So normally I do that. We had another right hand exercise, not right hand, but actually we did have a right hand one. We did have another one on both hand exercises, and in that one I only had chords with the left hand, melody in the right hand. However, for this one, I wanted to branch out a little bit. But you're right. Normally, when you're just starting out learning two-handed piano playing, you want to start with something with chords in the left hand with some simple notes in the right hand. So that is correct, but I want to give you something a little different. I feel like for the most part, so long as you tackle these methodically, break them down hand separate if you need to, practice them slowly, that most of the students here on the channel can probably tackle a lot of these. And if you can't, let me show you what you should do first. So if you type two-hand piano into YouTube, my video should come up first. It has two hands with my normal like sidebar across the top, and it says lessons on the web. You want to watch that one first because that has some exercises in it that are for the very beginner learning how to play piano two hands, and it also includes a bunch of tips on how to play two-handed. So I actually recommend you watch that video first. I will put that link in the description once I post the recording of this lesson. Faye says, can we print these out? The answer is yes. I didn't get them up yet, at least in time for the live stream, but when I post the recording tomorrow, they will be posted up on my website, and I will include a link to them. You can, download them and print them out. They will be out on a PDF. So great question. The answer is not right now, but they will be very, very soon. Probably by the time you're watching this, if you're watching the recording, they will be up. Check the description. Hello, Fireflower. Let's see. Rich says, my advice to the other students is to read from the bottom to the top, bass, clef first. I agree. So when you're reading music, it helps to do from the bottom note to the top. You can do any order you want, but I find it a lot easier to do from the bottom to the top. Abdullah says, I have a very important question. What is the importance on arpeggio? So an arpeggio, like I mentioned, is instead of playing, let's get here to the piano. Instead of playing all the notes all at once, you're playing them hand separate. Now, the reason you want to learn your arpeggios is because first they help you learn your chords. So if I'm playing a C major arpeggio over and over again, I know that those three notes that I'm using for the arpeggio are the three notes for the chords as well. So that's one advantage. The other advantage is that they appear in music quite a lot. And then the third advantage is that they really help with your coordination between both hands. Because like with scales, you have to sync up your left hand and right hand. However, this time you're playing notes a little further apart. So it's just a little bit more of a coordination exercise as well. Another great question. Okay, we got an awesome comment here from Barbara. Barbara says, my favorite song for hand coordination is The Old Clock in the Corner by Frederick W. Root. So I haven't checked that one out, but check it out on your own if you're looking to get better at two-handed piano playing. So thank you for your suggestion, Barbara. Let's see what the next question may be. Okay, Donald asks or says, I'm able to play some early intermediate pieces well, but they never feel fluid. They sound like it, but it feels very mechanical with two hands. Should I stay at that level or push forward? I would stay at that level, and what I would do is listen to some recordings of the pieces that you're trying to play. That's probably how you notice the difference anyway, and you're playing that it was maybe a little bit stiff and wooden compared to, what a composer would do. It's not so much of a problem if it's sounding mechanical at first, right? Because you do want to be as accurate with the tempo as you can. One of the things that can really help bring out the life in the music you play is what I mentioned earlier, where you're backing off the left hand part and singing out the melody in the right hand. Doing that alone, now don't get me wrong, rhythm wise, it can still sound a little bit robotic. However, just doing that alone will add a lot of color and shape to the sound of the song. So try that. If you have like retardandos and things, make sure you're paying attention to those. And if it's like a Chopin piece, which you might not want to be trying as a very beginner if you are one of those, there's something called a rubato, and that takes a lot of practice and a lot of listening to the types of pieces you want to play to get that right. So the first thing I would tackle is try rebalancing your hand, more sound out of whatever hand has the melody, a little bit less than whatever has the background accompaniment or the harmony. Try that, and that alone will add at least some more depth to your playing. Rich says, it's good to notice patterns in music because it makes it easier to recognize and tackle. I definitely agree. Great advice. Miriam asks, I saw a video of you where you were saying that it is not required to rehearse separated hands. Someone told me that I have to train them separated. At least I think that's generally what I'm getting at your question. So, is it a requirement to practice them hand separate? If you are just starting out, you're in your first few weeks, maybe first few months of playing, and you're not used to playing two-handed piano pieces so often, then yeah, I would learn them hand separate. That's not a problem at all. However, if you're far along enough, it's probably a better idea to start out trying it hands together because it'll help you learn the piece faster, right? So you don't have to spend 10 minutes doing just the right hand, 10 minutes doing the left hand, and then 20 minutes total. You can just go right to the 20 minutes total for whatever section you're trying to do. I mean, obviously, if it's a longer piece, it'll take longer. But whatever you're trying to do, focus in on that. And then you want to, if you're able to, just try hands together right out the bat. But breaking down hands separate is a good idea if you're just starting out. Or if the piece is very, very difficult, then you want to do that as well. Thank you very much, Donald. Abdullah has a slightly unrelated question. What is a diminished chord? I'll answer that for you real quick. A diminished chord is a chord that sounds diminished. It sounds dark and scary, and you play whatever note you're starting on. You count up 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 from there as well, not including that note. And there's your diminished chord. Let me show you where I want you to go to learn more about diminished chords. So just type in diminished chords. Lessons on the web. I mean, it might come up if you just type in diminished chords. Okay, so you want to look for this lesson right here. How to play diminished triads, learning chords on the piano. You want to check that out. It's a lesson we did about a year ago, but I think that pretty well encompasses how to play diminished chords and what they are. You want to check out maybe some of the other lessons here too, like how to hear the differences between the 4 chords for beginners on piano. Luchador, I'm going to call you Luchingador, says any music book or content for two-handed practice. So great question. So I already have a lesson on two-handed piano playing that I wanted you to check out. I had mentioned it before. Two-hand piano. Just to show you again in case you weren't here for that. Here we go. And that's what that lesson looks like. Easy two-handed piano playing tips and exercises. Now, in terms of things that you can practice to get better at two-handed piano playing, I recommend the following. Scales, number 1. Number 2, Hannon, which you can find, just type in Hannon exercises into Google. And actually, it brings up this website, Hannon-online.com. And you can print out any of these Hannon exercises for free, and that will help you develop at least syncing up both hands. However, if you're wanting to learn hand independence and you're far enough along in your piano studies, I recommend learning some Bach inventions. So just type in Bach inventions, piano. I don't know. You could type in PDF and it'll take you. So here you go. There's actually a bunch of choices here. But this one from Utopia Project looks like you can get a free copy here. And these are a bunch of exercises or inventions, as Bach put it, of two-handed piano playing where you're playing a pattern in your right hand and then a pattern in your left hand. And it kind of trades off with the patterns and themes there. So you want to check out those. I recommend checking out invention number 1 and then try invention number 4 after that. Those two are pretty good for beginners. Rich says, agrees with me. Hannon is great to practice with both hands. I agree for sure. Marianne says, any songs by Ludovico Einaudi, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize, that are easy to play for beginners. I'm actually not sure. I'm not familiar with that composer. I really apologize. If anybody else can chime in and let Miriam know, or Miriam is actually the next comment here. Thanks a lot for your help. Donald says, it's not mentioned in this tutorial. Diminished chords are the top 3 notes of a dominant seventh. Very true. Can help to know if you're trying to learn to play by ear. How do you, who do you see better on exercises, Hannon or Czerny or Czerny or however people pronounce it? I would say practice both. Hannon is great because Hannon is very easy to follow. Both hands do the exact same thing. Carl Czerny does a little bit different things. Like sometimes there's different things going on with the hand. So I would learn Hannon first, maybe learn the first 20 Hannon exercises, and then you want to move on to the School of Velocity by Czerny. You're very welcome, Luchingador. All right, some great questions in here by everybody. This is going to make the lesson so much better when we get great questions. So thank you so much, everybody. If there are any other questions about two-handed piano playing or what we talked about tonight with the exercises, let me know. Just a reminder, I will include the printouts for you, but I didn't have them ready for tonight's live stream. When you watch the recording of this, they will be up, which would probably be tomorrow morning sometime, about 12 hours from now. All right, everybody. All right, so while more questions are coming in, I want to show you something on the website. Just give me a second here, everybody. Feel free to let me know your questions while I get this up. Okay, give me another second. Guess it's not popping up. It's probably going to pop up as soon as I start talking. Real Winslet fan says, miss again, dang, YouTube notifications are rubbish. I'm sorry to hear that, Winslet fan. I'm trying to think of a better way that I can let you know. I haven't been very good recently. I need to get better at on Facebook, letting people know, as a reminder that we are meeting. So yeah, YouTube notifications might be a little bit late, but it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every time. So you could set, if you have a watch or something, maybe even an app on your iPhone if you have an iPhone or whichever, something that can help remind you to the time. Notifications will let you know the general time. I think they might even let you know. I'm not sure what the problem is, whether it's too far ahead of time that you know, or not enough time, but I'm sorry to hear that. I wish YouTube did a better job. Okay, Marian has a question. How long does it take to play the first song, both hands? So are you asking about the one we talked about tonight? I could say that you could probably learn that. It depends on your playing level, but I would say that most students can learn that in maybe 2 days. If you're just starting out, I could learn it in a couple of minutes, only because I've been playing it a really long time. But I would say, give it 2 days, see how it works out. See if you can learn maybe the first half one day, second half the other, and then maybe spend a few days just playing it all the way through. Even once you feel like you are pretty good at playing it, you want to continue playing them maybe for about a month or so to get the full effect. Okay, Marianne says, I started only 6 weeks ago and can't play anything, only little pieces, just a chorus. So it might take you up to a week. Let's say give it a week, spend a few days on the first half, a few days on the second half. Actually, what I would do is if you're that early on in your piano playing, I would learn it hands separate. So learn the right hand first and take however many days it takes. Say it takes 3 days to learn the right hand, and then take 3 days to learn the left hand. And then spend a few days, like a week or so, putting it hands together and see how you do. Get back to me. Let me know in the comments how you did with it. I'd be curious to see how you did. But that's what I recommend. All right, everybody, I have an announcement for you. I'm really excited to tell you about this. A lot of you know about this already, but I know some people have just joined in on the channel, or maybe they just don't know about this already. But if you go to my website, I have a website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. I'll put it in the description for you. I have courses that I made, and the reason I want to tell you about these courses is that if you like what you see over here on the YouTube channel, the types of lessons, I have the same types of lessons over there. Now, they cover a lot more than what we cover on the YouTube channel. There's also a lot of things, like a great review for beginners if you're looking for, if you're just starting out as well. So if you're just starting out, you're intermediate or advanced, there's a lot of things there that can help you continue your learning. Now, these are courses which I've designed that have the same types of instructional videos that you'll like from me, along with printable sheet music examples, real songs to play, assignments, and a lot of other things to enhance your learning way beyond YouTube. You can go over to pianolessonsontheweb.com and read all about it. There's a ton of courses. I have over 25 completed at this time. There's a lot of piano courses. You can learn about music theory, rhythm, improvisation, sight reading, and ear training, and basically anything else that I felt like you needed to become a well-rounded musician. So if you like what you see on the channel and you're looking to either get a really good review of the basics or you are looking to really take things to the next level, I highly, highly recommend you go over to pianolessonsontheweb.com. I have a little secret for you. Since you have come out to our lesson today, I want to say thank you for that. If you check out the Buy Courses page, you can buy courses individually, or you can purchase them in course packs for a deal, and you can click on each pack to see what courses are included in it. Well, this code, I'm going to give you a code. It works for any individual course. It also works for any course pack or any order of courses. During checkout, use code YouTube, very easy to remember, for an extra 15% off any order. I want to let you know about that. So again, like I said, if you like what you see over here on the YouTube channel, you're really, really going to like what you see over there. pianolessonsontheweb.com. Okay, if you liked our lesson tonight and you're looking to learn more about two-handed piano playing, you're looking for tips, you're looking for more exercises, you have to, and I mean you have to, check out this playlist on two-handed piano playing. What are you waiting for? You're going to miss out if you don't check it out, so click on that annotation. You also want to subscribe because we got great new lessons coming out every Friday and Sunday at 8 p.m. and you don't want to miss out on that, so make sure to subscribe as well. This has been Tim from Lessons on the Web. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll check you out for the next lesson. Thank you so much.